Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to a first update on my project pan that I started earlier this year. I will have the project pan intro video linked for you in the description box just in case you missed on that. So today is my first check-in. If you're new here, hi, my name is Eve. I love all things beauty. Here on my channel, I share about makeup, skincare, hair care, and at times lifestyle things like travel, fashion, and lifestyle vlogs. And if that sounds interesting to you, I hope you stick around, enjoy this video, and subscribe to my channel. Since today's video is a first time check-in after my initial project pan intro, so there are a few things that I wanted to go over before we get started. So earlier in April, I started the project pan because there were a few items that I just continuously kept reaching for, wanting to finish, and I thought I would just do an official project pan that would be going on here throughout the year. So to measure my project pan progress, I decided to count the uses for each progress. So I basically had this handwritten thing created on a clipboard here, and every time I would use it, I would just put a check mark on it. This clipboard is always here on my vanity where I get ready, so it's easy for me to track that way. So for some products, the ones that you could see through the bottle, I would put check marks on them, but I kept checking off the usage for all the products that I included. The project pan intro came out in April, so it's been about 4 months since I started project pan, and I do have some progress to share. I finished 3 products. So that being said, the first product that I finished was this Rare Beauty mini sample of primer, and the check mark from April when I started was here. I've used this product 4 times before it stopped moving. So altogether from this check mark, I used the product 4 times before the stopper stopped pushing upwards. Small fold of a packaging, and I also could not fully open it, so I basically put this in my empties. I do include these empties from my project pan into my general empties videos that I do on a monthly basis. The next product that I finished was this Patrick Ta Complexion Duo. I didn't enjoy this product so much, but I did enjoy the powder. This is how the product looked like in April when I started, and it took me 17 uses to finish this amount of product in this powder. And then the next product is this setting spray from LA Girl. So in April, that was my check mark, and then it took me 7 uses to finish the rest of the bottle. Another empty, and this was the Smashbox Primerizer. I finally finished it. It was a mini size, and it took me the longest to finish this. It just had this texture that a little would go a long way. It's very, very thin, and you would have 1-2 drops of this and it would be enough to cover your entire face. So as you can see where the April mark was, and it took me 4 uses to finish this. So let's just continue by categories. In the setting spray category, I had this Double Duty Beauty Tarte setting spray. This is my April check mark, and after 7 uses, I am here. The next primer that I have here is this one from NYX Plump Right Back mini primer. This is a mini packaging, and as you can see, the top line is my April check-in. I've used it 3 times, and as you can see, the line is just right under that. So with this product, I feel like it was the same concept, just like with the Smashbox one. A little really goes a long way. You don't need a lot of it. It's quite hydrating formula as well. So I did use it 3 times. And unfortunately, it didn't get me that far. The goal for me is to finish it by the end of the year. It is definitely more difficult for me to use this product in summer because it is hydrating formula in a way. So I think once the weather cools down, like October and on towards the end of the year, I definitely see myself finishing it really fast. So moving on to concealer section. So unfortunately with all of these concealers, I do not see through the packaging, so I just purely tracked the count, how many times I use them. And I know I could have put them on scale, but I think I am just not that far yet into project panning. I am very much a beginner. This is my first time officially doing this series on my channel, so I am just limiting myself to the counts of uses. And I definitely feel when the product is almost finished just by the amount that it comes out. So the ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer I used 7 times. Whenever I take out the wand from this concealer, it just feels like it's literally taken its last breath. So I don't know, maybe 10 more uses. I'm really hoping that's going to be in my next empty. And I had this dual-sided product from Estee Lauder and I used it 6 times. There's still a good amount of product left there. So the Bare Minerals Bare Skin, I only used it once so far. I definitely could have done a better job, but this is a very, very hydrating formula and I find it a little bit difficult to use in summer because I live in Florida. It's hot and humid. This other Bare Minerals Stroke of Light concealer I used 3 times. I do not really see where the product is exactly, where the mark is. However, on this side, I definitely see like scraping on the sides. So it feels like there's a very, very little amount of product left. So in the powder category, I had 4 products and then Patrick Ta Duo is already in the empties. And next product was this Tarte. My August mark was here and I used this 10 times and this is where I am right now. I am definitely using this quite a bit because it's a really nice mattifying and very long wearing formula. I'm really, really enjoying it in summer. So this is definitely a good time for me to be having this product in the project pan. So the next powder that I had here is from Physicians Formula. The packaging is broken. Let me just take this out. And this is the progress of this so far. I guess to justify myself a little bit, this product is pretty firmly pressed. So I did not really expect too much progress at the same time. This is a really nice smoothing formula also. I do enjoy it. I use this powder 9 times, so I definitely was hoping to have a little bit more progress. So my last powder was this Bare Minerals Perfecting Veil. I only used this powder twice, and the reason for that is because it does have a tint. It did not work for me that much with my summer complexion once I started tanning. So I guess this is an excuse for this time. However, I definitely will be putting more effort into finishing this up. I am very much focused on finishing all these products by the end of the year. I'm determined. In foundation category, I had 5 products selected. Out of 5 foundations, I only somewhat see through 2 of these components. And the first one is my favorite. This is a CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. I used this 6 times and I want to show you that this is where I started in April. And right now I do not see this past this white area. This is a formula that is buildable. So whenever I would apply it, I would need to apply a little bit extra. So that explains the amount that I've used in this entire time. So just for the sake of it, I will assume that I am somewhere here. So my second foundation that I somewhat see through the tube is the Pretty Natural from Essence. This is where I was in April and I used it 4 times and I'm kind of still in the same area, unfortunately. This is, again, the formula that is somewhat liquid, but it does give you a little bit higher coverage and the coverage is really pretty. So there is no need to use more product. So a little goes a long way in a way. I hope this makes sense. So I use CoverGirl 6 times and I use Essence 4 times, but the difference in uses you saw it was pretty significant, and at times it all comes down to formulation. So it does really give you a reality check how far the product is gonna go, how much and how long is gonna last you depending on the formulation. My next foundation was this one from Lancome. I only used it 2 times. It is a very skinny tube at this point, but unfortunately do not see through it. However, it is my summer shade and I do have all the intentions to finish it by the end this hot and humid season is over, probably for the next 2-3 months. And the same thing was with my Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation. I've also used it 2 times. So whenever I take out the wand in this, it's barely breathing. So it's very, very little amount of this left in this foundation. My last foundation that's here is Bare Minerals. I've used this foundation 4 times. However, the last time I've used this was maybe like 2 weeks ago. So this foundation has a pump, and whenever I was trying to squirt it out, it wouldn't come out as good. I almost got an impression that it was almost empty, but I also didn't want to keep squirting it because at that time I didn't need any more product on my face when I was applying it. At this time, I'm not considering this an empty because I may get maybe another use or 2 out of this, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be an empty very soon. In my blush category, I only had 1 cream product here. This is a ColourPop, and this is my progress right now. I've only used this blush once, and I know it's bad. I have an explanation for you because In summer, I do prefer a little bit more like brighter pink blushes or something that's a little bit more like rusty orange, like coral shades. I think this is just a shade that's a little bit difficult for me to use in this hot and humid season. However, again, I feel like I will be using it way more in the fall when the weather cools down a little bit, because I do very much love this shade, but there's not much progress obviously from one use. In my eyeshadow category, I only had this single from ColourPop. I've only used it once and obviously there is no progress. And if you watch my intro video, you know I added these two products just for funsies. My goal for them is slightly bit different. This is a Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer from Rare Beauty, does have SPF 20 only, and this is a Halo Glow from e.l.f. And my goal for these two items was just to use it. I have zero intentions to use them up by the end of the year. I just want to use them. I think I actually did pretty well with these two products because I like to see numbers, something for these two. So for my Rare Beauty product, I've used it 5 times and I'm so proud of myself because before I added this to my project pan, I rarely, no pun intended, used it. 5 uses in 4 months, it's not revolutionary at all, but I am very happy that I've reached for it at all. And then for e.l.f. Halo Glow, I've used it 3 times and I am happy to see that number. So because technically I used up 4 products, 2 of them were minis and 2 of them were actual sizes, I decided to roll in 2 more products to work on. The first one is going to be this putty bronzer from e.l.f. I have 2 of these and both of the shades are just very slightly different from each other, so there's really barely any difference between them. So I have a huge pan going on here already. I just intend to finish this up. And then I also decided to add this lip gloss from Buxom. This is one of my favorite shades. I generally love the Buxom lip gloss formula. This one is in the shade Claire. It's beautiful pink. This is where I am right now, right under the letter M. I think this is a good product to work on till the end of the year. So these are all the products that I wanted to share with you today, and I'm glad I've made some small progress. This is the first time I'm doing project pan here on my channel. I've watched project panning from different creators here on the platform. However, when you do it yourself, it becomes a little bit different process, and you definitely start getting a little bit of a reality check how long it takes you to finish a product. So it's very, very good exercise, let's say. So I didn't want to overwhelm myself with too many rules. With starting this project, I think it's pretty simple and it's so far working for me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to chat with you there. I didn't mention that earlier in the beginning of the video, but this makeup look I've filmed for a different video trying some new items. And that video is most probably already live on my channel before you're watching this video. And of course, I will have everything listed for you in the description box as always. So if you enjoyed this video, give this a thumb up. It does help my channel out. And if you're not yet a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to my channel before you leave today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in my next videos. Bye.